Hello there, and welcome to Kotori 87's experimental Let's Play of Rule the Waves 2. I am playing as Great Britain. We are playing in the largest fleet size, and as you can see, I have only just started the game. I have built the initial fleet, but I have not taken any turns yet, so we are starting in January 1900. I am playing this game, as you can see, in Admiral's mode to see how that works out. I have a fairly good idea what the different AI settings do, and we're gonna try this out. So without further ado, let's take a quick look through what we've done so far. We have built some battleships. We've got 10 battleships of the Anson class. These are extremely heavily armored pre-dreadnought battleships. Not exactly the fastest at 18 knots, but that's good enough fleet speed for the beginning of the game. We'll see about bumping that up in a few years once we've unlocked additional technologies, but for right now, 18 knots is good enough. We've got 4 12-inch guns, 14 6-inch guns, and 16 4-inch guns. Very heavy armor, as I already mentioned. These boats are designed to stand in the line of battle and take a heavy beating, and hopefully they should be able to do that for a very long time. My goal is to get at least 15 years of service out of these ships, hopefully 20 years of service, and we'll see if they're still useful beyond that. Next up, we have my armored cruisers. These are not quite as heavily armored, because they're cruisers, not battleships. They also have lighter guns, lighter collection of general hardware, but they're also significantly cheaper, as we can see from the maintenance costs there. Which, that is the purpose. These will be backing up the battleships, providing scouting and other stuff. At 20 knots, they're a little bit faster. Next up, we have the Comus class light cruisers, or sorry, protected cruisers. These are my general foreign station overseas cruisers at 4,000 tons apiece. They're fairly cheap. At 20 knots, they're pretty slow for a light cruiser, so they will not be outrunning any armored cruisers, so if it comes to that, we're in trouble. But these are not intended for frontline service, they are intended for overseas protection, and that is about it. Hopefully they should be enough to deter most overseas raiders. Next up we have some destroyers, basic 500 tonners, plenty of firepower there. These are not so much intended as torpedo boats, they're intended as torpedo boat destroyers. Their purpose is to defend the fleet from enemy torpedoes, and hopefully that'll work out fairly well. We'll see. I also have a collection of corvettes for minesweeping, and that's about it. As far as research goes, we're placing a heavy emphasis on ship design, since that is our primary advantage, fire control, and machinery. I am, of course, not spending any budget on submarine research, because that is ungentlemanly conduct, and I have no intention of pursuing that at all. And we're not putting a whole lot of research on projectile development right now, because there's not a whole lot to unlock in the very beginning of the game. We'll see where things go from there. Alright, without further ado, let's actually get this started. I'm going to immediately begin building up dock sizes, because bigger battleships are always better. Under construction, I have 2 more battleships and 6 destroyers, so we'll see where that goes. In fact, I can afford to lay down even more battleships, and I think that's what I'm going to do. So we'll put 2 more battleships down, and let's also grab a few more heavy cruisers. There we go. And that still leaves me with a very healthy monthly balance to start building up a cash reserve. Alright. So, with all that done, there we go. With all that done, let's go ahead and advance on to the next turn. So, the very beginning of this, not a whole lot is going to happen. We're just going to advance several turns in rapid sequence. See where things go. Alright, so French light cruiser. Has 8 6-inch guns, 12 4-inch, 22 knots. So it's got a comparable broadside to our cruisers, but it also has a fat collection of secondaries, which could be bad news for us. So hopefully I don't end up fighting these light cruisers head-on. That would not go well for us. Alright, next turn. Hooray, we've completed some of those destroyers, which sounds like a good opportunity to lay down a few more. So let's put down 4 more destroyers in the books. And next turn, hey, 2 more destroyers complete. And more detail on the Freant class. Yep, I don't see anything else useful about this ship. It's superior to our light cruisers, but I'm not supposed to be fighting those light cruisers, so I'm not going to worry about it. Let's put these in reserve. There we go. Call that stuff good. Oh my, looks like Russia and America aren't too happy with me. Close to mastering a heavy secondary battery. I like the sounds of that. Alright, secondary guns heavier than 7 inches in casemate or single turrets. Alright, well that's useful. Can go up to single turrets. Not quite what I wanted, but we'll see. Alright, moving on. Alright, it is... nothing too significant has happened. Looks like Russia is ramping up their tension, so let's bump up some espionage against them and see what they're up to. Alright. Dock size just completed. Time to build another. Let's also take time to actually design some proper frontline light cruisers. Alright. And that is not a good frontline cruiser. It is far too small. Try this again. There we go. That's a little bit more reasonable. Okay, so let's see what we got. We've got a 22 knot speed, solid belt, conning tower 6 inches. We don't need that much. Alright, let's drop that down. Okay, normal accommodations, normal engine, medium range. That all looks good. I don't like those 3-inch secondaries. Let's bump that up a little. Alright, 6-inch guns. Well, plenty enough 6-inch guns. A little more ammo here, because you can never have too much ammo on these ships. Plenty of armor on the turret, so hopefully those don't get knocked out at all. Let's take a look at our... Ooh, we're definitely going to need some more torpedoes on here. There we go. These ships do need torpedoes, and... Alright. Don't quite have the armor for anything else. Let's see what kind of performance we're getting. Alright, we do not need 3.5-inch turret armor. We'll bump that down to 3-inch, and there we go. We have the tonnage. In fact, we have enough tonnage. Nope, can't do colonial service. Never mind. Alright. This looks like a good frontline cruiser. Alright, so we will save that and start developing. We'll lay down some of those, start facing off against our opponents. And reserve fleet our new battleship. Do we have anything else? Anything else? Oh, reserve fleet those destroyers as well. Alright, I do not like that unrest there. Alright, ships under construction. We've still got plenty enough battleships coming along. Cruisers chugging right along, so that looks good. Uh-oh. A foreign policy gaffe. Uh-oh. Let's see. When in doubt, blame Russia. There we go. I should also start looking at bases and overseas capabilities. So let's see here. Mediterranean cannot properly sustain a decent-sized fleet, so we're going to have to start bumping some of that stuff up. Let's see what we got here. So, Gibraltar, already pretty solid capacity there. Malta, pretty solid. Egypt, a little low. Alright, so let's try improving Egypt. So we'll spend some money there. We'll also build us some 6-inch batteries to defend these things. Let's see, does Malta have anything? Actually, let's take a look and see what coastal fortifications we even have. Looks like it's all at home. Nope, don't want that. Let's build a 6-inch battery there. Can also improve Malta because it is a fantastic base, and same thing for Gibraltar. Throw up some 6-inch guns and improve bases. Not that it'll make a huge difference here, but alright. We should also take a look at the far east over here. Alright, Way Highway definitely needs some defenses here. We'll get a pair of 6-inch batteries there and start improving bases in Way Highway so we can support additional ships over there. I do not want the Russians or anyone else trying to take this stuff from me. Alright, what about India? Looks fairly safe. Not too worried about Southeast Asia at this time. Or anywhere else really for that matter. Plenty of base capacity there. Plenty of base capacity there. Don't really care about that. Don't really care about that. Not too worried, not too worried. How's stuff looking over here? Ooh. The absolute last thing I want to do is go to war against America, but I do not like having insufficient base capacity down here. So we're going to have to start building this up. Alright, Jamaica's pretty easy. New Providence is pretty easy. Grand Bahama, that one's basically negligible. Oh, Trinidad. Alright, we can start improving that one. Alright, and let's see what we have up here. Nova Scotia and New Brunswick. Not too worried about Newfoundland getting lost, so we can easily improve that, but it doesn't need any fortifications. Oh, come on. Let's see, no. What was this? Bermuda. Wow, that's a lot of base capacity. Alright. Let's put some 6-inch batteries in Nova Scotia. And we'll put some more over here. Not too worried about the East Coast, and not too worried about the Pacific for now. Let's see, how much base capacity we okay. Plenty of base capacity in the Southeast Asia, so I'm not too terribly worried about that. But Hong Kong here is quite vulnerable, so let's slap down some 6-inch batteries there to try and buy time while we send the fleet if necessary. What else do we have? Not too worried about the South Pacific, so those should all hold out just fine. Alright, back to our ships. What do we have under construction? We've got our cruiser design study chugging right along. Alright, next turn. Alright, our cruiser design is ready for construction. Let's do a quick double check of everything. And looks good to me. We'll start building it. Build ship. Cruiser Intrepid. We'll start off with 4 of them. And while we're at it, we'll lay down another battleship. Alright. There we go. Construction begun. Alright, government is concerned about tensions leading to war. Well, we have 3 options here. We can call for an international disarmament conference, which could result in treaties, reduces tensions, and generally reduces budget and construction. We could try and go for a treaty with an ally. Well, that's not a bad idea. Let's see if Japan would be interested. Either that, or we could just arm for war. Either way will work. But I'm curious what would happen if we get a treaty with Japan. That'll certainly help contain Russian aggression. And it'll deal with French and Americans as well. Alright, let's see. Treaty negotiated with Japan! Hooray! And it looks like we have also unlocked larger destroyers. Hooray! That is also good news. So with that in mind, let's shift around our focus. We can drop our light forces down to low, and we can now start working on torpedo technology so we can take advantage of that stuff. We also need to design a new destroyer to take advantage of our fancy new larger ships. So let's see what we got here. At a 600-ton displacement, we have medium range, 27 knot speed, speed type engines. Yep, that's fine. Normal accommodations. 2 torpedo tubes, 4 2-inch guns. Not the best arrangement, but seems okay. Let's see if we can bump that up. Let's see what this says. Okay, that says all okay. We've got extra tonnage. Let's see if I can go up. Okay, so we could do 4-inch guns. Now it's complaining about crowded settlements, so I can't properly do 4-inch guns. Man, what I really want is to go up to 4-inch guns with 3-inch secondaries, but we just don't quite have the capability right now. So it looks like we're stuck with 3-inch. That said, we do have the tonnage to throw on an additional torpedo tube. So let's see about that. We'll drop that off, and we will put a couple of torpedo tubes on. Oop, nope, don't want those. We'll get that in a better position there. Alright, so we've got the forwardmost. Second group. Let's go with the third. There we go. And all of a sudden I'm overweight. Okay, so we can't do that. Let's put the Q torpedo back on. There we go. Let's check our ammunition. Okay, ammunition looks okay. Let's see if we can put on more secondaries. Can never have too many there. We'll give a check. Nope. Can't do that either. Alright. In that case, let's see about a single 4-inch gun and some 3-inch secondaries. Oh! Well, that works. That is much nicer. Alright. We definitely need a better name than the Stour class. It sounds like a very grumpy old man here. Alright, let's see what the names come up with. Test? Not quite. Kennet, Stour, come on. The Jed class. Alright, we'll go with that. Reminds me of Jebediah Kerman. And hopefully they drive just as well. Alright, so we'll save that. We'll start developing. And we will add those to the construction rotation. Alright, ships in service. We'll put that in reserve as well, allowing stuff to continue. And looks good to me. We'll see where things go. Oh no, a spy from Germany. Clearly the only option is to denounce Germany. I denounce you. Alright, destroyers ready. I know we only just laid down... Actually, no, we finished destroyers a little while ago. Let's lay down 4 of this new Jed class, and we'll see where things go from here. Actually, you know what? We'll put another 4 on there, just because. Alright, that looks good. Alright. So Italy wants to buy stuff. Okay, sounds good to me. We'll let them do it. Alright. Not a whole lot going on right now. Colonial crisis. With Russia, our big opponent so far. Recommendations: we can safeguard our interests and be ready to fight war. We could avoid war. Well, obviously, there's only one choice. Let's check the almanac real quick. Yep, we have the battleship advantage. We have the cruiser advantage. We have the light. We have a hands-down vast superiority of light cruisers, and our destroyers are almost matched. All right. Well, with that in mind, we are clearly ready to fight a war against Russia. We've unlocked better torpedoes. That's always nice. All right. Looks like it is time to start activating the fleet. So we are going to select everything that's currently in reserve and bump them up to active fleet. This is going to be expensive, but very important. Alright, there we go. And that is why, that monthly budget, we are slightly in the red, but that is fine. That is why we've built up our reserve of funding. Alright, we're finishing up all those coastal batteries, so that'll free up some budget. Perfect timing. Ooh, and just in time to miss the rebuilds, we get 12-inch quality zeros. That is unfortunate. Oh well, we will incorporate that into our next design. Alright, let's see what we got here. Ships under construction look good. We'll have 2 more Anson class coming out in 7 months. We've got one well in the yards, so that'll be a while. We've got cruisers under construction. We've got heavy cruisers under construction. And those heavy cruisers should be done soon. That'll free up budget. Which means it is time to design a new battleship. Alright, let's see what we can do with this 18,000 ton design. Alright. And of course it immediately puts me down to 15,000 tons. That's not enough. I want a bigger battleship. Alright, so first of all, fleet speed set, 18 knots. Alright, let's see what we can do here. So 12-inch quality 0, sounds good. Additional armament. We'll throw on 2 more broadside torpedoes, because you know the fight's going to get close enough for that. Alright, armor. Let's bump that up a little bit more. We'll go up to 11-inch belt. Belt extended can go up to 4.5. Deck 2, deck extended 1. Conning tower, we'll put that at 11. Turrets definitely need more armor. That is a distinct concern. Turret top doesn't need to be 3. We can put that at 2.5. Secondaries. We'll put that back down to 4.5. That's good enough. And then, once again, I don't really see a need for a proper heavy secondary battery. I'm still happy with the 6-inch secondaries, 4-inch tertiaries, so we're going to stick with that right there. Definitely need more rounds per gun though, so let's bump that up. 120 rounds per gun seems good. Armor selection seems good. Let's check our tonnage. Well, it seems like I've basically built a repeat of the Anson class. That doesn't seem particularly helpful. Alright, let's try bumping up our secondary guns then. Let's go with some 8-inch secondaries, and we'll see how that works. We're going to keep the 4-inch tertiaries. We're going to up our tonnage even more. And we're going to up our armor belt. Let's see what kind of armor penetration the 8-inch guns get. Those can go through 4 inches. Yeah, okay, I see why they were armoring that so heavily. Let's bump that up. There we go, 6 inches of armor belt there. Back up to 12-inch guns. Do not want this ship getting lost to armor penetration on the secondary battery. That would be very embarrassing. And alright, let's up our, we're still a little bit shy on our weight, so we're going to have to up that a little bit more. There we go. 17,500 seems good. And a few more tertiaries just for safekeeping. There we go. Plenty enough secondaries, plenty of primary ammunition, lots of torpedoes, heavy armor, so these should have good longevity. Who knows, maybe they'll even stick around long enough for me to unlock secondary director. Ha, that'll be a joke. Alright, let's see. Quick check. All looks good. And we will save that and begin development. Alright. And it's time to move on to our next turn. Ooh, here we go. We got our Cockburn safety valve. It's a very important development in boiler technology. Historical boilers, especially coal-fired ones, it was not easy to control the amount of heat they make. So if you're steaming at a very high speed, and all of a sudden you don't need to go so fast, so you shut down your throttles, the pressure inside your boilers is going to rise rapidly, but it's not so easy to stop the coal from burning, so you can't reduce how much heat is being produced. End result is the pressure inside the boilers rises rapidly, and the cockburn safety valve is a much more reliable overpressure relief to avoid boiler explosions. A very important piece of technology there. Alright, our scientists are currently baffled by the problems of high tensile steel. Well, that's annoying. I always wanted better steel. Oh, and we just unlocked the double bottom. Alright, that is important, so I'll have to make sure that gets incorporated. Ooh, and medium wing turrets. That might be something worth incorporating. Alright. Oh, looks like Russia is starting to back down. They did not like when we mobilized. Alright, well, with that in mind, we're going to stay here for a little bit longer and see where they go. But if they go another 2 turns without ramping up, I can start putting ships back in reserve. Alright, the heavy cruisers are complete. So that's good. Alright. We'll move on to the next turn. Alright. A major arms firm wants to sell ships to a South American country. This will be good for our arms industry, but risks leaking sensitive technology. What is your recommendation? Well, got 2 choices here. I can either go for a larger budget at a risk of leaking technology, or not take the large budget. Obviously, Britain needs all the budget it can get, so I must choose the large budget and allow it. Alright, we're going to do a quick rework on the Barfleur, see what kind of changes we can do. See what it looks like with twin turrets. Oh, that's a little funky looking. We'll do a check. Okay, hey, that's calling it a 10% change? Oh, wow. That's nice. Alright, but with that in mind, I do not like the arrangement of the superstructure there. That big block superstructure is not going to work. So we'll have to start figuring that out. Alright, so there's our thing. Turn that off and we'll start redrawing that. Alright, so we still need something in the middle, so we're going to go with a little wingding there. Oop, didn't want to do that. Let's try this one more time. Alright, so we've got a forward bridge wing. Work our way back this way. We'll cut in over there. Alright, that is a much nicer looking superstructure. Not too big of a fan of that little thing in the middle, but well, let's see what that is. Alright. That, yeah, we can redraw that. Let's put that into something different. Alright, so I want something that goes a little more like this. Actually, no, we'll just delete that. We'll rearrange the funnels a little bit. Alright, so let's go with a pair of oval funnels. We'll put one here, and we'll put one here. Actually, no, let's put it a little bit further back. There we go. 1 and 2. Alright, that looks a whole lot better. Okay, so we have a nice looking, significantly improved pre-dreadnought battleship. We've got secondary turrets instead of casemates. I have no idea how that's only a 10% change, but it is. And do we have the tonnage? Oh, we can throw on some extra tertiaries. We'll go all the way up to 22 tertiaries. Why not? Seems okay. Alright, we'll save that. And it'll take 1 more month before we can lay down a couple of these battleships. Which is about right. Alright. And next turn. Research area of fleet tactics. Interesting. Oh, I'll worry about that later. For now, it's time to build some barflares. Alright, let's lay down 2 of these things. Alright, there we go. And looks like our destroyers are almost done, which means I need to build more destroyers. Some more destroyers. And we could also use some more cruisers. So we'll lay down a couple more of these cruisers. There we go. Should keep things chugging right along. Alright. Plenty of heavy cruisers. Those are all working up. And next turn. Alright, new docks completed. Time to build new docks. And the cruiser Euryalus finished working up. Why did I... Oh, yeah. A 5-year security arrangement. So Germany is proposing a 5-year security arrangement. What is our advice? Well, I could enter a security arrangement. It's not a full-on treaty, I don't think. But having treaties with both Germany and Japan is probably going to mean that it's very hard to go to war. And I don't want that. I've got a fancy new fleet, and unlike real life, there's no significant consequences for wars in this game, so I want war. I want to go out and fight, use this fleet, see how things work. So I think I'm going to blame Germany. Actually, let's do a quick double check on the almanac. Okay, we still have the battleship advantage. We're still building more battleships, so we've got them pretty well beat. Russia's trying to catch up, but they're not going to catch up. We've tied Germany for cruisers, but they are building more. Because of course they are. And light cruisers wise, yeah. Alright, we are starting to overtake them on destroyer construction, which is good. Well, that's good. But yeah, we'll just blame Germany and go right for it. Hey, our first improvement of AP projectiles. That's good. And of course, Germany didn't like that, so they increased their spending. Sounds good to me. And let's take a quick look. Alright, so it looks like Russia is starting to back down, which means I can start reserving some of these ships to save budget. So I'm going to put half of my battleships in reserve and half of my armored cruisers. So we've got a total of 12, so we want 6 and 6. Alright, that looks good. Alright, moving on. We'll keep these... Until I have proper replacements for these ships, we're going to keep them active. The destroyers, though, can all go back down to reserve. And these boats can all go back in mothballs. Alright. reserve fleet those. Alright. Quite a bit of budget savings. Which means, can I afford more barflers? Not quite. I mean, yes I can, but it's not quite the time to build those. Let's take a quick look at an armored cruiser. See if I can design a proto-battle cruiser now that I have big stuff. Alright, so we've got 10-inch guns. Not the best, but it'll work. Alright, 6-inch belt. Looks good. Speed. We'll clear that off. Alright, we want A, Y. Alright, I can't do a proper cross-deck firing, and that cannot be retrofitted, so that's not really a thing that we can do. So we're going to have to go with wing batteries. So we'll go with the wings, and more wings. Okay, so we're going to have to get above 16,000 tons. There we go. Quick check. Why did it say that I was a pre-dreadnought? Alright, there we go. Okay. There we go, properly set. Ooh, this is not going to be cheap, but it should do pretty well. Alright. So we've got a hexagonal layout of 10-inch guns. This should actually be able to deal with the German armored cruisers. Alright. Gun armament looks good. We only need more speed. Alright, so there's our speed. Oh, that's going to be expensive. Oh, it's so close. I can almost do it. Oh, I don't have anywhere near enough ammunition. Let's bump that up. At least 120, which means we'll go up to 17,000. There we go. Alright. So at 22 knots... I can't quite do it. I don't like the amount of armor these things have. They're gonna need more. Ah, well. This is a proto-battlecruiser. I'm not too worried about it. If bad things happen, then it's clearly the sailor's fault. Alright, so we've got plenty of secondaries. We've got 12 6-inch secondaries. We've got a nice heavy main battery. Let's see. Can I... Is there anything else I can do to squeeze more stuff on? Alright, deck looks good. Belt looks good. Okay. Why do I have a 12-inch conning tower? There's no need for that. As everybody knows, British officers don't duck, and they don't use heavy conning tower armor. Alright, there we go. That saved me quite a bit of weight. Can't quite do 16 secondaries, but I could certainly do 14. Actually, that's... Is there anything else? Normal, medium, normal. Okay, all that looks good. All that looks good. Is there anything else I can do? Let's take a check of turret arcs. Looks good. Alright. Wish I could push the speed up more, but I just don't quite have the capability at this point in time. So we'll just call this good. Well, not quite good, but there we go. Oh, what would it take? Oh yeah, that's too much. We'll stick at 14 secondaries and 20 tertiaries. Alright, looks good. On second thought, let's add on some more torpedoes. go, and we'll go with 18. Oh, no, can't quite do it. Okay, never mind. We are going to remove those. And back up to 20 guns. Alright, there we go. Looks good. Check that, looks good. We'll save. Alright, and begin development. Alright, and that puts us at 45 minutes into this recording, so I'm gonna call it right here.